Is this thing on? Hello, coming from a decommissioned oil rig somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico and keeping our flattened palms at a sensible 90 degrees. Welcome to Uncensored Radio's UCR Live. We are here. It's busy. It's been busy. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, it has been. Look, there's been a few changes around the ridges, hasn't there?
Changes
So
going on everywhere, Bubs. Changes happening everywhere.
All our lives
not
are
about-
changing.
We're not going to bury it. We have something very important to say. Happy birthday, Christina.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina.
Happy birthday to you. You still are the baby.
Hey.
Even with one more year, you're still our baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a flash, Christina, and we'll give you some beads.
Okay.
Jerry! How was it? How was your birthday, Dolls?
Maybe
So this year, it was a little different. My
I heard
father's
you were
birthday,
ill.
yeah. So my father's birthday is the day before mine. So his is the 19th. I'm the 20th. I woke up Sunday with like really bad back pain. I don't know. It was weird. Like I always have back pain, like lower back pain. It's fine, whatever. But like this was like excruciating, and then like it started to like radiate to the front, and I started to get like nauseous and like
UTLA?
Kidney stones?
no kidney stone.
Darling.
The day we were celebrating at my parents' house, my husband had to take me to the hospital. So I spent the night in the hospital, or I didn't spend the whole night, but I spent the evening in the hospital. They wanted to keep me overnight because they said that it could possibly, like, I had an elevated white count in my blood. I'm sorry, in my urine, and I had blood in my urine too, apparently. So they were nervous that it was going to get like infected and cause sepsis.
Right.
So I was like, no, I can't stay. I'm sorry. Like, tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm not staying a night in the hospital. Like, I don't have money for that. Number one. Number two, I'm not doing it. So I went home. Everything was fine. I'm doing fine. Actually, just reminded me to take my meds. I'm gonna write that on my hand because I'm gonna forget.
Live on camera.
Meds. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay now, but it was really terrifying because like I was like shaking in pain and on my couch, on my mom's couch, and I was like, oh, what's wrong with me?
You probably also had a fever if you were shivering.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have any fever. That was like the weirdest
Really?
thing. Like I was shaking because of like the pain alone.
Mm.
Oh my God. It was all down like my right side, and like she said it was stuck in my junction.
Well, the problem with kidney stones is sometimes that they kind of drip into the cannula, so they get sharp, pointy edges. They call them staghorn. And so they can get stuck in there, and they can get very sharp edges.
And it can cause
really
lots of issues.
Painful, yeah.
This is the second person this week that I know that's been in hospital for kidney stones.
Really? Holy shit.
Shut down the country. Kidney stones are everywhere.
Both Americans.
Like in the water. I drink a lot of water, so.
We have a very acidic diet, and it tends to dissolve the minerals in our body, and they all filter through the kidneys, and that creates kidney stones.
Ugh, that's my worst fear.
Kidney stones.
Especially as a bloke.
Oh yeah.
When you gotta, like we've covered. Oh, look, I had a family member who, a male family member who had a kidney stone, and he literally and he was like a real bushy kind of bloke, like, ugh. He tried to tolerate that pain for so long. Anyway, didn't he actually just pass out while he was pissing this stone out? Like, the pain was that excruciating, and he was trying to downplay it to everyone that his body he just collapsed. Like, holy shit. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So they're not good.
No fun.
No.
And you never, but isn't it funny, Kristen, like you were just saying, like how you're shaking and that on the cat. You remember, like, we get sick all the time, and, you know, and you get like whatever. And even when you're sick, you think, oh, this is the worst ever. But I can actually recall the couple of times I've been that sick. And one of them was when I was living in Sydney, where I was actually really frightened. I've never been that sick. And I was like, had the full body rigors, and it was terrible. Like, and I'll never forget that. I was 21 years old. Like, I legit thought I was going to die. And I was trying to write it out. And then I was like, I can't do this. Like, it's just, not okay. I need to get to someone who can help.
Like,
and,
it gets, oh my God. Go ahead, keep going. Because
no, that was kind of the end of my story, really. But like, I was that sick, and I was living in Sydney, and I was really young. I think I'd sold my car up here as part, like, to finance that move down there. So I'd only lived there for a little while. So I'd been, you know, probably in contact with new flu strains that I've never seen before, living in shithole regional area of Queensland. And I had to get myself to a bus stop while I couldn't even breathe or walk, get to the doctor. And I remember I made it into this, like, GP center where I'd got this appointment, and the receptionist just looked at me, and she's like, you need to, like, come with me now. And I'm like, because I was trying to, like, downplay it. I didn't want to be embarrassed or anything, but like, oh, I'm sick. And she's like, you need to come with me. And she's like, if ever you're this sick again, she's like, just call an ambulance. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was that bad. But I was young. I thought, you know, I'll be fine. Like,
out, right? Stiff upper lip, all that shit.
Yeah, but, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm here.
No, like, it was just, like, very emotional, because, like, it was the first year. Again, like, oh, you lost me. Did you lose me?
Yeah,
we lost it for a second.
Everything's fine.
Come again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But so, like, it's the first year. Every year of my life, I've celebrated my birthday with my dad every year. And, like, now that my niece is now 3 days after me, which today is my niece's birthday. Happy birthday, Daisy! Love you, little girl.
Hey, happy birthday!
Now it's the three of us, but now that Tim is in our lives, now it's like Tim and Daisy, and then, like, me and my dad. Back to me and my dad. But, like, I wasn't there, so, like, I was so emotional in the hospital. I was like, I can't sing for my dad. Like, I was just like, and then, like, when she was palpating my stomach, she's like, does this hurt? And she was, like, touching my gallbladder, and I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get my gallbladder taken out. Like, holy fuck, I'm gonna need surgery. I'm gonna be in the hospital for days. I was like, this can't happen. Then, like, after the seriousness of it all went away, I started to, like, list. You know how, like, you just, because then I sent my husband home. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't need you staring at me for 6 hours, like, while I'm waiting for this test to come back. Like, go take care of the kids. Like, I don't need an extra body here. Like, I'm fine, you know?
Right.
We know what it is. Like, obviously it's a kidney stone. I'm not dying, right? They wheel this woman in to the curtain next to me, and, like, you know, there's just a curtain between the beds. So she's an older woman. She said that she's been married for 30 plus years, that she has 4 kids, she's got 7 grandkids, whatever, right? She said she was in CVS, and I guess she got dizzy. I don't know if she passed out or not, but they said that she was, like, possible stroke victim. So they wanted to do a full workup on her. And I'm listening to all this because I love Grey's Anatomy, right? And I feel like I'm trying.
Were you like Meredith Grey in the hospital?
I met Barry.
We have to operate. We have to operate.
I was like I even said to, like, my ER nurse, I was like, you're like the Bailey of the fucking floor, are you? She's like, oh, honey, don't you worry, I'll take care of you. She was the sweetest woman ever. Anyway, so the woman next to me they're like, okay, we're gonna do full workup, and she's telling her husband that like her nurse told her that like she's the highest priority patient in the hospital right now, right? So they do this whole exam, and then they go, okay, I want to do a rectal on you. And she goes, why? And she goes, well, we want to she goes, I want to make sure that everything, like, have you ever had this or something like that? Like, so she goes, I'm going to need you to turn on your side. And you hear the snap of the glove. I tell you, the curtain, guys, was like touching my shoulder. Like, there's no real, like, I don't know.
Is
This
that how much they cram you in? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like it's like your bed is like where you are, and there was a person on the other side of me too, but like they wheeled him out and they moved the curtain open, whatever. It was eventually 2 beds, whatever. But like this woman was right next to me, so like the whole time the curtain's like flailing like this.
What? Well, they were giving her an internal.
While they were giving her a fucking rectal exam, I am texting Jeffrey, and I'm like, they're giving this woman a rectal exam right next to me. What the fuck is life right now?
I would like to report that Auburn ER has individual rooms. You would never be next to anybody else's rectal exam.
Oh my God. So they finished that, right? So then her husband comes back, her son comes, like, she's got her whole fucking crew there, right? They're keeping me entertained through the curtain. They don't know that I'm paying attention to them. Then there's another guy in the back that's screaming. He's just like grunting. There's always that one person that just won't stop screaming, right? Then my Bailey comes back to me and she's giving me my antibiotics. She's giving me my antibiotics because now I'm like, it's time for me to get discharged. And she's telling me that like the hospital that I went to doesn't have a pediatric center anymore. They closed it down last year. But this man brought his 5-week-old to the emergency room. I don't know why. And I saw him in the waiting room when I was there. And so she comes over and she's like, sorry it took so long. She goes, I was handling, and this woman has a very thick Spanish accent. She's, again, the cutest, tiniest little Spanish woman, so cute. She goes, I'm sorry I wasn't able to take care of you. She's like, this man over here brings his new one in, and she goes, and he's losing his mind. She goes, he says he can't stop crying, and the baby has back pain. And she goes, and I asked him,
like the baby needed the rectal.
She goes, why do you think the baby has back pain? And he goes, well, because anytime I lay him down, he cries. And I'm like, oh my God, what a new dad. Like, are you kidding me? Like, anytime he lays this baby down, he's the baby cries.
I get it, though. I get it when you're a new parent. And, like, like, mum might have been at work or unwell or something. Like,
mum was not there. Mum was not there.
I've always been softly with, like, new parents, even if I think, oh, you didn't really need to come here, because I get it. Like, you get scared because you're in charge of this little person. And but I know it's just crying. Like, did you try feeding it? Did you change the nappy? Like, diaper? Like,
did you just hold the baby?
Yeah.
Right.
Or just nurse the baby?
Oh, it was just so funny. Like, again, after the whole like fear of it all went away and they gave me my pain meds and all that shit, like everything was fine. But then I started to like find the funny parts. I was like, okay, this is hilarious. I was like, I can't wait to tell everybody on the fucking show. And again, I'm texting Jeffrey as all this is going on. I was like, this person. I was like, oh my God, it was just so funny. But thank God.
You know what's really sad though, Christina? Like, out of all of that, you never got to get an internal as well.
There was not one cute doctor that I would have wanted an internal from anyway, so I'm okay with that. Like, I am really okay with that. It wasn't Grey's
Anatomy then, after all, hey? They weren't supermodels.
No. There was no Mark Sloan. There was no Derek Shepard. There was definitely no Alex Karev. I was like very upset, but it's fine. It's really fine. Like, again, it was good. I got a CT, which I don't think I've ever gotten before. And like the woman was like, oh, we're going to give you the iodine, like the dye or whatever, the contrast. She goes, it's going to feel like you're peeing. She goes, but you're not peeing. And I'm like, okay. Cause like, I don't think I've ever gotten that before. So I'm in there, and sure enough, I feel a fucking full-on warmth down there, and I'm like, oh my God, I just pissed myself. And then I come out, and I go, and I like, she goes, you didn't pee. And I go, I swear, I was like, you were so fucking accurate with your description. I was like, that literally felt like I just pissed myself. I was like, that was insane.
Bailey, you were right.
But why does the contrast warm your vagina like that? I can't understand that. Like, why does it generate to that area?
Creates a full flush so that everything's engorged for the picture.
Oh.
So it makes you feel like you're full.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
I'm telling warm too. Like it was like warm. Like I was like, damn. I was like, this is hot. And like you have to stand still. Like you have to stay still with your arms up. And you're like, breathe in. Like.
Oh my God, I hate those things.
Are you feeling good now, Christina? Are you okay now?
I'm feeling okay now. Yeah, I don't have any pain this morning. Yesterday morning I woke up with a little bit of pain, but the meds are definitely helping. So again, I just have to take my meds and I'll be okay.
We'll remind you again by the end of the show. And all those watching, please just comment, Christina, take your meds before we hit the credits, because we can't lose her. As you can see, we're a dwindling panel here.
Well, Tim is busy today. His stepdaughter passes for her birthday. I don't know where the fuck he's been, so whatever.
Quality, not quantity. It's okay.
It is quality.
We're glad Christina's feeling well because the rest of the world might not be. So here we go with this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
Sorry, I took up all that.
No, it's all good.
It was great.
Luke and Steve all had a good
We
week.
got to talk about Grey's Anatomy, Christina. Anytime you can shoehorn that into a show, I'm there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything exciting happened this week?
Nah.
Nah.
No.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
I'm gonna go straight there.
It's just my birthday.
Oh, hey.
Honestly, I think he was on drugs.
Yes.
I think he was on drugs, but I think he planned that.
People are saying ketamine. But let's be honest. I don't care what the news media spin is. I don't care what you believe. The whole point of everyone's fake media, is believe what you see.
Right. But
you saw that.
I saw he did it once, he turned
and
around,
then
he did it again, and when
twice.
they panned out, there were people in the audience who returned the salute. So don't fucking tell me this is a Roman salute.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See, I didn't see the whole thing.
He did it twice.
No, isn't that interesting?
Deliberate. And the little whatever this symbol was that Junior did, not Junior, the other one, Eric.
The Illuminati, flashing on Illuminati signs.
Whatever that fucking thing was, he did that very deliberately. You could see his face when he brought his fingers together and he looked really proud of himself. And you could see his wife look across the room and say, and then she starts hitting him. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And he stopped it. So whatever these fucking signs are, they're fucking Nazi symbols. Don't tell me it's a Roman salute. Don't tell me it was an act of love.
I did see a very
Nazi salute.
I did see a very interesting report that everywhere else, while America is debating what actually happened, everywhere else in the world is censoring what happened because they know that's, a designated.
The EU
motion
had a
of hate.
whole bunch of speeches that you could find online that weren't being played in any mainstream media about people saying out loud that was a Nazi salute, and we're not going to do it.
Yeah, no.
He was so awkward and sort of manic when he was doing stuff that it did kind of, the clips I've seen just kind of look like it was just someone who...
Yeah, Fox News clips.
I didn't watch
clips
Fox
that
News.
were show you what
I'm back in Australia, Dal, so I'm watching mainstream media.
I watched two. I watched one that conveniently cut away. And then I watched one where he did it twice, and the cameraman's kind of like, you can see the camera literally go, like, holy fuck, what did I just catch? And it cut away, and the two female presenters like, well, you saw that. Our audience are smart enough to make up their own minds as to what you just saw.
Yeah.
I don't. Hey, Lashana. I don't. Yeah. I don't prescribe to the fact that it was an awkward moment.
You
Well,
don't?
He
No,
was
I
just awkward as fuck, but I think
I
he
don't-
did it intentionally.
Yeah, once could have been an awkward
Right.
moment.
He did look awkward as fuck,
Twice is
but that was
intentional.
deliberate.
Yeah,
Twice is intentional.
And he
Yeah,
was
look,
raised in South African apartheid. You cannot.
I was
tell
going to
me he
say,
did
and he's
not know what he
also-
was doing.
And he's very as awkward and weird as the whole exchange was with him, the whole performance. He's also very intelligent and knows what he's doing. So I
Oh,
I
can't
think he's
really play.
intelligent.
They
I
all
don't think
know
he's as
exactly
intelligent
what
as he
they're
gets credit
doing.
for.
I
He
can't
hires
play-
engineers because he's got a lot of money, and he's made some good investments. But I don't think he's as smart as that.
Well, then maybe he was silly and didn't know what he was doing.
No, see,
I think he knew what he was doing.
We can't put that kind of shit out there because you can't
No,
say
I know
it's a
that, but I'm
Roman-
just-
No, I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying
I'm
you
causing-
can't put that narrative out there because it's so strong out there that it's a Roman salute. No, it was a Roman salute until it was used for something
By the
else.
Nazis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like the swastika was a Tibetan good luck charm until
Yeah.
it was used for something else, and you
Yeah.
don't go around putting swastikas on front of your house
And if you think
unless you're a
it's
complete fucking asshole.
such a warm expression of
Triple
love,
find out.
walk into work tomorrow and do it. Okay?
Yeah,
Walk into your
walk into
job
work.
and try
Yeah.
to pull that off at work.
Yeah.
And see how much of an expression of love it is.
It's bullshit. Yeah.
Bullshit.
But look, it seems like maybe that relationship's already in the throes
Well-
of problems because of funding and all that kind of stuff. So
So
there
what
are-
else?
Can I ask sorry, before we go, can I ask one question of the Americans? Because it's not something like I haven't really paid a lot of attention to, like, the signings of stuff. Do all presidents sign with a big, thick black texter marker?
No.
Because on legal documents here in Australia, they have to be very specific as to what you sign a document with X, Y, and Z, right, Luke?
Right.
You have
it
to
has
sometimes
be blue or
sometimes you have to
black
sign
ink,
with
it
a
has
black
to be-
black
yeah.
ink pen
Yeah.
with not a
Yeah.
felt tip pen. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So how can old mate get away with
Fine
getting his
tip black
big
pen.
getting his big
You
Sharpie
know,
out
of
and go?
all of the societal norms that he's breaking, the big fat Sharpie is the least of my worries. I don't care.
Yeah.
He can
Is
sign
it
it in
legal?
crayon. if
That's
he
what I'm
wants,
saying. Is it
you
legal?
know?
No, and you know what? I don't even think at some point somebody pointed out that his hand was never actually on a Bible when he
No,
was
it
sworn
never
in.
was. He did not. Well, that really supported my theory that he has frozen shoulder. I've said for a long time that he's got some shoulder injury. He's got frozen shoulder, and that's why he
Yeah,
can't drink
actually.
the water, and he couldn't raise his hand onto the Bible. I really do believe that. I didn't view that as
Yeah.
a sinister anything, because
Everyone just said that he was gonna
observed
burst
him
into
and
flames if
really
he
think
did.
He's got that long-term shoulder injury, but
Yeah.
From all that military service.
All those salutes.
I was gonna say
he hasn't done any. He hasn't done any.
That's what I'm saying.
If
Like,
he
also,
goes, he could be swinging and hurt the shoulder. In a
Did you
swing.
see Did you see the video of like Elon kind of
Oh, yeah.
zoning
He
out
was-
the whole
He was on
thing?
his
Like,
face. Between him and,
what
and
was that?
between him and Bush, I don't know who was higher.
Well, I think Bush was on gummies. I think he was on ketamine.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Can we just?
Wow.
I need to talk about the dance break.
Oh, I
Who
didn't see
in
any
their-
of that.
Right?
Who in their right mind went, you know what? Let's leave him on stage while the village people perform.
I heard he had a sword.
It was.
I didn't see it.
If I
see
hadn't
it.
seen
I
it.
think he was smart.
Wait, what song do they do? I haven't seen all of this yet because I was kind of.
YMCA.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
YMCA.
Blank
yeah.
dance move.
Because I
Yeah.
remember there was a toss-up. Was it
I'm
YMCA? Was
jerking
it
off
going to
two
be
people at the
Macho
same
Man?
time.
Air dicking.
Yeah, he was doing the Screaming Eagle.
It was called air dicking.
I love that one.
YMCA. No, it's not gay.
I love it. I love it. But out of all the bleakness, and we're already signing away rights and going back in time, there is one hero to rule us all. I mean, come on. How this woman deserves
Absolutely
all the flowers.
Okay, so listeners, we were looking at the bishop who.
Yes,
Bishop
I'm
Buddy.
gonna.
She was the
Yeah.
officiant of. She's the bishop of the Washington Diocese of the Episcopal Church, and she is the official, or she is the server at the National Cathedral, and this was the National
Mary Ann
Ceremony of
Edgar
Prayer,
is her name.
which is traditional for a presidential inauguration. And in my opinion, her address was so mild. She looked at the president and
Respectful.
she said, very respectful. She said, "I ask you for mercy. Have mercy on these people who are scared and frightened right now."
I can read it to you if you. I've got some.
Chastise him.
And you knew as soon as henchman number one looked at him. I hate JD Vance, man. That he's done some things. I don't know. He's got a very sinister aura.
Is he like number two in Austin Powers?
He is. He's very much like number two, but effective. So she's now getting.
Also made a push too.
Yeah, she's now getting death threats because of all of this from the MAGA, because that's what.
How dare you question dear leader?
How dare you question me? And she has doubled down. This is the quote that she has given when she was on NPR, I think. "I don't hate the president and I pray for him. I don't feel that there's a need to apologize for a request for mercy. I regret that it was something that has caused this kind of response, in the sense that it actually confirmed the very thing that I was speaking of earlier, which is our tendency to jump to outrage and not speak to one another with respect. But no, I won't apologize for what I said."
She
No,
shouldn't.
and
It was so mild. It really was.
People
Very
giving death
respectful.
threats. That those people should be on charge.
Oh,
they should be charged.
These
You can't do
these
this.
people that are capital C Christians.
I heard a really nice expression today while I was online. It was
Capital C's.
they use Chino, but I'm going to prefer Crino because Chino sounds too racist. But it means Christians in name only,
I love it.
and I like it.
Okay, so she did go. She was further interviewed on MSNBC and said, "We are in a particularly harsh moment now where it comes to conversations around immigrant populations in our midst, and it's and so that I'll try again. And so that was the reason for the tone that I took, but now it could have been a very different tone in a different context. The fact that Trump and his MAGA supporters are so incensed." Oh, that's something else. "I ask you to have mercy." Oh, yeah, that's what she said. So basically, she's saying what we all knew was going to happen. I mean,
Right.
his reaction straight away was not anything of acceptance or going, yeah, she goes, "Oh, she was anti-Trump. She was violent in her speech. She's not very smart." I'm like, why is that always the first thing he goes
This was
to?
one of the posts
not very smart.
I had to report because there was just so much ugliness in there going, "Oh, yeah, she looks like a dyke, so of course she'd be standing up for those freaks and all of this stuff." And I'm like, wow, people really don't fucking like each other, do they? Like the nastiness
it gets worse
that
all the time. I stay awake at night sometimes wondering how we're ever going to fix this and get back to normal.
But you know what?
For
the next 4 years, every time that you have to pay extra for your medication, every time that if you know someone of color, someone that is trans, someone that is gay, bisexual, whatever, someone that's an immigrant, someone that has immigrant parents, and you voted for this man and his cadre of piss poor supervillains.
hate.
This is what you asked for.
And
That's
they're
all.
more expensive than they were
Yeah.
2 months ago.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
look,
gotta
yeah, no, it was going to be fixed. It was going to be, wasn't it going to be fixed the
Listen,
day he went in
That was
office?
day
No.
No.
one.
It's been 3 days.
The
guys.
reason, though, that
No.
these things happen is because it wasn't just, oh, I want to vote because I don't like black people, I don't like gay people, I'm going to vote for Trump. It's a lot to do with the current state of the world, with the, like, you know, the cost of living, all of that. That fear has come into
Fear-mongering.
It's all directly related to COVID, too. The cost of living, the supply chain breakdown, that's not any politician's fault.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is because COVID got out of control. You know?
But I'm just saying, this is what's factored into why the Republicans have now been voted back in, is because people are remembering pre-COVID going, oh, things were better then, and things were like this.
Okay.
Well, whatever, Steve. Maybe your
No, no.
opinion's the only correct one. Let's talk
No,
about
I'm
your
just-
opinion.
No, you keep going. I'm just saying.
No.
I think
Well, if we're going to say whatever
interesting-
to people when they're talking, then I think that's
I
being
don't
very
think you're
dismissive
wrong,
of an
Luke. I
opinion.
do think that's a lot of what happened. But I think
Yeah,
that there were
yeah.
lots of people trying to speak truth to these people, and they chose not to listen.
So I got a new phone on yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was at the Verizon store. I'm sorry, I got it on Tuesday. I was at the Verizon store with a Pakistani man, and he was telling me he's been here since 2004,
Mhm.
and he told me he voted for Trump, and he said that he voted for Trump because Kamala was not what this country needed right now, and I 100% agree with him because, again, it's just the way that things were going. We needed somebody to take the reins. Kamala was not going to be that person, in my opinion, to do that. He articulated himself, and the things that this gentleman was saying to me, it was just like, wow, like, yeah, there you go. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, but I can't get the fucking words out. And of course, it's been 2 days, and I smoked too much pot to even remember what the fuck he was talking about. But again, it's just the way that. But he did say, Vera, he did say that the only time that he has experienced racism in this country was during the 4 years that Trump was previously president. He
Mhm.
said, because he goes, see it this way. He goes, if a customer came in this door and my manager was cursing at that customer, I could now say, well, my boss cursed at that customer, so now I can curse at that customer. He goes, just the same way that the president can curse at this guy, I'm going to curse. Now everybody thinks that they can curse at this certain person or this certain group of people.
Yeah, and
He goes,
call
so
it Bishop
that's
Dykes
why-
and whatever.
Yeah, he goes, so that's why I think I experienced that kind of racism. He goes, but he thinks that Trump just needs to get who wrote Obama's speeches and who spoke for Obama.
He will never let that person write his speeches because that person is a gay man.
But he thinks he needs that kind of level-headedness. If he had that kind of level-headedness, he truly would be a better president, or more appealing to your side, like
He's had those people. He had
Democratic
General
side.
Mark Milley.
Well, look,
he
Celtic
had General
Dragon-
Schaefer. He's had all these level-headed grown-ups in the room, and he fired them. I'm sorry. I get that you people did not believe that Kamala could do it, but the reality is she
could
had
not.
more legislative, executive, and legal experience than any candidate who's run for president this century. She had more experience than Obama. She had more experience than Clinton. She had more experience than Bush. She was an experienced woman, and I would have loved to have seen her try. Okay, I can't guarantee she would have been successful, but I know from the first 4 years that this man is full of hate and chaos. And nobody seems to remember how the price of gas went up and down. The stock market went up and down. And every freaking Friday when I went to dinner with my friends, my friend Ellie would say, I'm going to have to die in 5 years because my retirement account lost 700% of its value Or, yo, I can live again. I can live another 2 years. Oh, I'm going to have to die before I'm 78 now. Every freaking Friday for 4 years, she would come in and tell us when she had to die based on the volatility of the stock market. And none of that is good. I'm sorry. It's
So Celtic asked a question.
The entire world.
She said, "Isn't there more than two parties to vote for?" It's similar to here, though, Celtic, with our LMP and our Labor government. There are plenty of other parties, but I ship like it's a two-party preferred system. So all of these votes end up trickling into the major parties anyway, and they're the ones who always end up in power. So it's kind of, we've always talked about trying to revamp these political systems to give more fairness and, you know, more
I'm
variety.
all about revamping the electoral system. I think the electoral college needs to go. It's absolutely obsolete. I think we need to go to ranked choice voting so that non-major party candidates have a shot. You know, I think there's a lot of changes we need to make. I think we need to get all the corporate money out of our freaking elections, and we need to get the fairness doctrine back so people can't lie to the American people on the nightly news every fucking night and pretend that this was a Roman salute and not a Nazi salute. And all the other shit they lie about all the time.
But I guess there's also other problems than the mainstream media because TikTok's back.
That pissed me off.
No, okay, so Celtic's just brought up again. Sorry, before we get to TikTok, it's just like that. But look how many independents we have in Parliament. Yeah, our political system was only recently changed in the last, I think, 10 years or so, where the smaller parties actually did manage to be able to win seats. Prior to that, it was never really happening ever. You may have got a Green senator in every now and then, but it was very hard for a minor party to even get a seat. They've changed it here so that now you can have independents, you can have the smaller parties win an electoral area.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the majority will always be in our country, Labor or LMP. And so they will then have to play ball with these big parties.
Well, unfortunately, the bicameral system rules the American way of life. It should be changed. I absolutely agree. And I am liberal, but I'm not a Democrat. A lot of people forget that. I am Working Families Party. You know, I believe that every decision that our Congress makes needs to help the working man. And
you were a lifelong Republican too, weren't you?
I was a lifelong Republican until Trump. Yeah. I left the party when Trump was in office because I couldn't stand the hate and I couldn't stand the chaos.
So is this a movement for free speech or is it commerce?
This is a fucking stunt.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this was a stunt.
This pissed me off. Saturday night, I was with my friends. We were hanging out. And all of a sudden, Jess and I look at our phones and we're like, she's like, TikTok's down. I said, what? So I turned on mine. And I was sad. I was really bummed. In that moment, I was heartbroken. I love TikTok, you know? But when I woke up on Sunday morning and it was all hail President Trump, who wasn't even president yet, and who couldn't have done anything to fix this in that 12 hours that it was down, I was suddenly like, this is a fucking stunt, and now I'm pissed.
People got onto it early, though. Because while I've got whiplash from the 14-hour ban, but while that was all happening, people in America were, you know, deactivating their accounts and doing all that kind of thing, logging into Facebook and getting messages, link your TikTok account to your Facebook account.
Oh, geez, I didn't get any of that.
Facebook, I think 7 hours before the shutdown, created a TikTok account.
Well,
who was in the front row at the inauguration?
Oh yeah, all of the tech billionaires. It was a billionaire row.
Yeah,
but,
in the front.
A week before that happened, I was really disgusted with Zuckerberg and the way he was bending the knee and the way he had lifted the DEI from Facebook and he changed all the fact checking at Facebook. So I went in and I changed all my privacy settings. I never got any of those messages. I wasn't one of the people that ended up with a friend automatically following the president, the White House, Melania, and JD Vance. None of those pages showed up on my page because I got pissed a week before and changed everything. And
So have you guys noticed a difference
in
in your
TikTok
TikTok accounts?
Yes.
In your TikTok accounts?
Oh, absolutely.
So something really bad happened because with the new phone thing, since my old phone was such a piece of shit and like running out of storage, the guy at the store had to delete my TikTok app.
Oh no!
Like,
And you can't
in
log
order
back
for,
on,
like,
right?
all the storage to like get moved over, he had to delete like 3 point something megs of thing. He's like, honestly, he's like, TikTok is the biggest app. He's like, do you want to delete that? I was like, yeah, I'll get it back. It's no big deal. You can't download it.
I know. That's my sister.
Can you
had the same
download it
problem.
now?
No.
It says
Yeah, because the ban
everything.
went into effect on the 19th.
Because it's still, yeah,
Because
it's
the
still.
ban, the law that was voted on by both houses of Congress that can't be fixed by a presidential edict went into effect on the 19th. So you can't upload it from the App Store.
So now it's gone.
I know. I'm sorry.
You have to
My
do it on
sister
computer.
had the same thing happen. But the notice that she got on Saturday night said, "Do you want to delete this account?" And she said yes. And I just looked. I was so sad. I love TikTok.
I'm gonna delete it.
I love TikTok. I like watching people do stupid dances and making horrible recipes. And I bought so much shit off the fucking TikTok shop. It's not funny, you know.
I don't see the
just
TikTok
so-
shop. I don't. Maybe I'm not in the right algorithm.
This bag was $3.66. I got this. I've had this for 2 years. It's the best fucking thing I've ever had in my life. My nose ring was $6. Where's the other one? I got that off TikTok. I don't even know where the other one is now.
Half of the ornaments on my tree this year were from TikTok. I got a little space heater for my bathroom. I ordered Friday night before the 18th. I went online and ordered a whole ton of shit.
So is it like a similar store to like Shein and Temu? Is it like similar to Temu and Shein?
I don't know. I've never been on either of those.
It's faster than Timo. Because I've heard
It's not really a prevalent thing here. Well, on my TikTok.
Yeah, I've never seen it. That's why I'm trying to like understand it.
Well, it's very decentralized, so it's coming from different sellers. So you could get something that takes 3 weeks to deliver, and you could get something. I mean, the space heater came in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's shipped from
good.
New Jersey, you know, whereas I've ordered from, you know, China stuff that took me 7 weeks to get. I ordered something for Christmas and got it
Don't
for
tell the
Valentine's
president.
Day. You know.
Beauty Mark Jewelry. This was on TikTok. I've got, this is my other nose ring in it. It's the best fucking thing I've ever. Again, they were so cheap.
Yeah.
And again, they see these ads and everyone's like, oh, you gotta get good. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Do we know? Do we know when TikTok will be available to download again in America?
Well, President Trump.
Depends on the sale, right?
There are people that are stepping up who are interested in buying them. Musk is one of them, and if Musk buys it, I won't go on. But Mr. Beast, who's one of the richest TikTokers, is trying to buy it. Yeah,
he wants to buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got several investors. Several people have hit up Mark Cuban to buy it, but Mark Cuban is paying somebody else to do an AT proto that's launched on a different server.
Competition, basically.
Yeah. So.
Well, one thing people certainly saw. Did you guys see?
Oh,
this?
I did hear. Hang on, right before this. I'm sorry. That's nuts. But I did hear that Instagram is offering TikTok influencers $50,000 a month if they start posting more reels like daily to Instagram instead of TikTok, because they want the money and the popularity.
Have you noticed the change of your Instagram account as well?
100%.
Very similar.
But I don't know. It's Meta, so I'm sure it's Zuckerberg.
So it's part of Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
But like I've noticed now, there's a shit ton more people on Instagram from TikTok. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, this person's on Instagram now. Like, of course I understand why, but it's like
I've never been on Insta. I don't. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see this person on TikTok, like on Instagram.
That's
Like, get out of
bullshit.
here.
You know, that's also bullshit. I've said this a million times. It's like China owns 2/3 of America's debt. You think they don't have our credit card information already?
Everybody
That's
has our
a fucking
information.
lie. China has all of our information. They were way ahead of us on information technology. That's not the truth. There's something else
Russia
going
owns half a
down
president, at
that they're
least.
blaming it on security.
I also heard that, like, oh, you think that TikTok has your information? Well, TikTok has never shown me an ad for something I've spoken about.
Right.
And all of a
Facebook.
sudden now I see it on TikTok. No, I see it on Facebook.
Never
I see it
happened
on
to me
Instagram.
either.
Never on TikTok has it ever happened. So
Not to
who really
mention,
has your information?
you
watch,
think
you're
that
gonna get
Elon
all
Musk
this.
didn't use all of our information to target the voters that he knew were most likely to vote for Trump? I'm sure he did. You know, it's called
Giveaways.
micro-targeting, and it's the way that they marketed Trump. It's one of the reasons Trump won.
Christina's going to be getting ads all about how to get rid of kidney stones and to, you know, the latest season of Grey's Anatomy.
I have already. Like, it's so funny. I already have. Like, the things I'm seeing, like, what are those called? Like liquid IV or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just like these little, like, drinks or whatever, like little things.
It's more like Gatorade, though. It's not probably not.
Yeah.
Good for
Liquid
kidneys.
IV is about
hydration.
rehydration stuff.
I guess because I keep saying, oh, I drink plenty of water. Like, that's what I've been saying for the past, like, 3 or 4 days. Like, I don't know why I got them. I drink plenty of water. Like, you know, like.
It's full of salts and electrolytes.
Liquid
It might
IV.
not be a good drink. Yeah, it might not be a good drink for a kidney
It might
stone.
contribute to the stone, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't drink
Might
liquid
be
IV.
bolder.
Yeah.
I don't drink.
We're not.
that.
By the way, we are not
Yeah.
disparaging the brand of Liquid IV. If you want to send us some, you know, go for it.
I actually have.
I don't drink it.
Used it. You know, I like Gatorade. I like Pedialyte. I tried the Liquid IV. I believe after a fever or after you've been sick, nausea and vomiting, it's good to replenish some of those electrolytes. I have it. I'm not disparaging Liquid IV in any way, shape, or form, but it might not be the best thing for someone with kidney stones.
Right.
If you need a full body cleanse, though, especially your bowel, you could go and watch Roseanne's rap video.
Oh, is that Roseanne? I had no idea.
That's
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
Who's the guy?
Some random rapper.
So he's
I'll find his
apparently
name. Hold
he's-
on, wait me a second.
yeah, like
Talk
he's
amongst
not.
yourself if
He
you've
doesn't
seen it.
create music that I follow, so I don't actually know his name either, and I'm old.
I will find it for
But
you.
from what I
recognize
understand, he's
Roseanne
quite
at all.
popular with He's quite popular, I think, more
Tom
so online.
McDonald.
Tom
His name is?
McDonald. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's quite
I did
popular.
not recognize her, and I definitely don't know him. Was the piece? Did they rap together?
They
They
rapped
rap
about
Trump.
Trump.
Oh.
It's
Daddy's
a
back.
pro-Trump rap. Daddy's home.
Daddy's
Can we-
home.
I need to know what that's about. Why do we call him Daddy?
I don't know.
Oh,
He's not
makes
my
me
daddy.
feel-
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. I want to be adopted.
No.
Oh,
Well,
Stop it. He's got a
JD
frozen
Vance,
shoulder.
was it JD Vance? It was Tucker Carlson who gave that speech at the Republican National Convention. That LOA that that the Democrats were acting like a recalcitrant teenage girl, and Daddy needed to come home and spank them. That was Tucker Carlson at the Republican National Convention.
Right,
So maybe-
right.
we remember that.
Maybe Tuck Tuck started that, but
Do people spank their teenage daughters? Like that to me
No,
is
it
really
was
weird
very-
and very sexually charged by the way he
in the right
described that.
Pornhub
It
categories,
was
yeah.
awful. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I've seen a
But
lot of
Wow.
crappy things.
America's calling out for discipline, apparently.
Wow.
Yikes.
Look, money may be able to buy you an election, and it can also buy you love.
No.
With a
The
rectal.
world's first AI
Oh.
girlfriend robot with realistic human features has launched for only $150,000.
That's actually a lie because the real one, the full version that where she actually can stand up, and I think I think she can walk a little bit or something, is
Why should she just
175,000.
I could
Can I
stand
just
and watch.
point out that they're all women? There's no male robot.
No, there is a male one, and it's old and ugly. So all the women are like these little like
Well, who the
you
hell
know
wants
femme
that?
fatale sex kittens wearing like PVC bodysuits and stuff, And then the man one was like this old. It looked like fucking like Patrick Dempsey's grandfather. I was like, what the hell is that? Like,
What?
it was like
Sure.
Yeah,
an old man. I reckon
by
it was one of the
yourself.
investors who said, "I'll make a robot of me too," because I was like, why are all the female ones so attractive, and then their male prototype is like this old, busted up man?
Apparently, the world thinks we're
Because-
looking for daddy. I don't know.
Well,
But I can
There's
stand up
plenty
and
of-
walk. I mean, shit.
there's
You're
plenty of daddy
fine.
issues. There's plenty of daddy issues on display as well.
But look,
have you guys
with
been
that-
following?
Oh,
sorry.
Bonnie Blue.
Who is she?
Bonnie Blue. Okay, so Bonnie Blue is a British porn star. She became famous here in Australia by being banned from entering Australia during Schoolies Week. So Schoolies Week's a high school breakup party that all the kids have when they finish high school. She was filming porn videos with 18-year-old boys on Schoolies Week. And so the Australian government,
barely legal. She wanted.
yeah, barely legal and whatever
I
else
thought
she
she
calls
was
them.
another plastic doll. I didn't realize she was.
No.
freaking
Well-
No, she's human.
No, girl. Wait till you
I don't
hear.
know if her vagina.
what
I don't know
But
if her vagina
anyway,
is still human.
She's right famous. She's right famous. She's famous again right now because she just finished breaking the record for sleeping with the most men. She slept with 1,057 men in a 12-hour period.
Can you even fucking believe that?
God.
I
There
have
How
should be
sure.
calluses in places there shouldn't be calluses.
No, like there's so many questions that I have though. Like,
Chafing.
where were these
Did she
men
chafe?
waiting? Yeah, like there had
They
to
had
have
a
been
line.
interviews.
They had a line.
The line at a
Right.
mansion. So they filmed it at a mansion, and
Oh.
people could come. They were kind of given a window period of when you would come, and that would be your turn. So there was
Okay.
just people lined up in this mansion right down to the basement all day.
So I heard that it was like 88 guys per hour, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that
I'm
They got
doing the
about 40
math.
seconds each or something, I think. They
like
worked it out.
7 seconds. I heard it was like less than
Well,
it was
these
like
have 7 seconds.
each
It's
or
like
something like that. Right? If you do like the
not
math. or
7
something.
seconds. 60.
But
Cheers on
this
it.
woman, so Bonnie
It's
Blue,
7.5 seconds per person.
7.5 seconds per guy.
0.7, no, 0.75 a minute. So it's like
40
45
seconds.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So 45 seconds, you're in and you're out, right? Like, so
Yeah,
you're
that's
the
not a lot of
guy in
time
the
for
line.
finesse.
You're the guy
Well,
in
you
the
got-
line.
you
Are
got to
you
get.
coming? Are you
No.
finishing? You're
just,
not finishing.
You're just
I think they
in
were
and out
finishing.
for 45
You-
seconds.
I think they were edging themselves while they were in the line, and that was their whole thing. Was they just go boop boop and in and out?
Definitely
Right.
not the straightest thing in the world.
No, it's not.
So-
Look, for me, it
You
probably
basically,
would be a
like,
bit
just
exciting,
jerk
but
off
not
to
for
that.
the reasons that they. I don't understand that mentality though. Like,
Macho man.
but okay, so everyone's focusing on Bonnie though because like she's done this for money and fame, and everyone's saying she's disgusting, and probably rightfully so. She is. She's almost a predator. But
Whatever.
1,050. So there's one Bonnie. There was 1,057 men that
there were.
also said, "I want to partake." So
Yeah,
what's
I'll do it.
going on? What is going on in people?
You know what?
That's what I'm saying.
Heterosexual men. The end.
Right. What anybody does with their body, their time, their business. I really don't. I'm not going to condemn her for it. You know,
No,
it's
she's not
nothing
gonna
I
get
would
the world
partake in.
record.
I only
don't
condemn
like
her for the
barely
fact
legal
that-
shit.
Yeah, she's filming these young guys on schoolies
That I
and
don't
stuff
like.
that
That's
in 10 years'
predatory.
time are going to really regret their decision to root this porn star. Like
Yeah.
they will. That's going to come up. Oh, honey, by the way, like I know we've got 2 children now and been married happily for 20 years. My porn video's circulating again. Okay,
But
doll.
not even
Like-
not even that. It's I'm sure they wouldn't have been disguised. So
They were. They're all in ski masks.
But
They were handed
even-
a ski mask.
Do you know what position she was in?
Every position possible, doll. 1,057 men. They were flipping her. She said she usually heard it had been 5 at a time, sometimes 10 at a time. Then when she got tired, she'd only take 1 or 2 at a time. So, you know, she was
Points for stamina, girl.
So now I'm thinking, like, when you're in that line in the mansion,
Yeah,
Was there like tape? Was there like tape on the floor or like signs that said "Start
I hope
jerking
there was
off
plastic
here"?
on the floor.
Get
there was
your
condoms. There was
oh,
used condoms all over the floor. That was the photo of the aftermath. And apparently
oh
people were
crap!
flipping over on them, and she used the term like on an ice rink. Yum.
Oh, my mother effing god!
That's
Dude,
I feel
awesome.
sorry.
I mean,
I feel
okay.
sorry for whose Airbnb that was.
If you can, why not, right? I mean, the girl clearly has something wrong with her. If you want, if that's the
She's
goal
daddy.
that you want in your life, like if that's how you want to get in the Guinness Book of World Records, then by all means, go ahead and fucking do
Yeah.
it.
Have at
I
it.
mean, right? But like, I mean, I want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's not for having the most dicks inside me in a day, but it's if that's how you gotta get in it, that's how you gotta get in. It's just, I just feel like there's a
45
line that's gonna be
seconds.
drawn.
What the hell pleasure are you going to get out of
Yeah,
45
like
seconds?
I said, she didn't come once. I'm positive.
She's
She
dated. No, she
all that.
stated after about the 100th guy, she disassociated. They were her own words.
Like
Yeah,
a trauma
Yeah, of
response.
course.
like she couldn't feel a thing after that. I'm
Right.
like, come on. And you know
How
how
long
much
has it been
drugs
since
she
she's
must have been
felt a
on
thing
too?
in
Fuck
here?
that. Yeah.
We ask
Well,
ourselves.
she didn't find love out of those 1,057
No,
men,
she
I'm
didn't.
sure.
She's probably found a gnarly yeast infection though.
Oh yeah, forget it. She's out
Let's
of commission for the next 3 weeks.
while Bonnie's Blues box is hot and flustered, Vera is also hot and flustered because it is that time
Oh my God,
of
it's
the
that
show, folks.
Oh.
What a segue. It's time for Vera
Yeah.
Ben. Okay, Miss Vera, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, vent.
Oh, kids, it has been such a week. Our so-called president promised us the first day would be a day of shock and awe, and he had hundreds of executive orders ready to go. They were all piled up on his desk, and his aides helped him sign for 3.5 hours. And as expected, there are things in there that he outlined in Project 2025 that he said he had nothing to do with. But lo and behold, of those 300 executive orders, most of them were stuff right out of Project 2025. He ended. He had an executive order to limit the number of people who can get transgender operations in this country. He limited the availability of transgender care. He targeted gay adoption, and he targeted birthright citizenship. Now, I know that a lot of Americans don't really pay attention to the Constitution, and that's okay. I did. They taught it to me when I was in school, and I was an overachiever. Birthright citizenship is guaranteed to any American born in this country who has no other, who is living under the jurisdiction of this country. So it's not, you can't be a diplomat's daughter who's the diplomat is serving the Queen of England and you were born here and have American citizenship. But if your parents came here and were living here and working here and you were born while they were here, you get birthright citizenship. And it came about in the 1860s for two very important reasons. Number one, in the 1860s, the Civil War had just ended, and we had thousands of Black Americans who had no place in our society. They were undefined. They were up to that moment property, and we had to define them as citizens or make our choices. So at the time, they were given birthright citizenship, and provisions were made so that Black people born in this country who were working in this country would be recognized as citizens. And they also had a huge influx of immigrants from Europe. In the 1860s, there was Italians, Polish people, there was, a lot going on in Europe. I can't remember exactly what. It wasn't certainly World War I, but there was famine. There was reasons to leave. America was the land of opportunity. All these immigrants were coming here. Not all of them were qualified for citizenship. Anyone who broke the law was sent back immediately. that was part of it. It's been around since 1860s, but it made provisions for these immigrants' children. So if they were born in this country and this was the only life they knew, they were automatically citizens. And birthright citizenship is bestowed on every single American born here. If your parents were American and you were born here, you're automatically a birthright citizen. So one of his executive actions was to end birthright citizenship. And the purpose of that initially is to eliminate the birthright citizenship of children of Hispanic immigrants that are living in this country and their parents are here without documentation. Because when his first presidency, he did the child separation policy, and that went over like a ton of bricks. There's still 1,500 children missing from that 4 years. So he was intending to eliminate birthright citizenship and ship all these children back with their parents as soon as he starts deporting all of the criminals who don't commit crimes at the same rate as American citizens who commit it much less, who are less likely to commit a crime than American citizen because they know they can get deported. Anyway, my problem is not with his reason here. My problem is with the second and third intention. If birthright citizenship is ended, that means all of us are no longer birthright citizens of this country. What is he going to make the conditions of citizenship? Are you only going to be a citizen if you swear loyalty to Trump? Are you only going to be a citizenship if you pass the test? Probably not, because if he passed the test, he would know that an executive order cannot trump an act of Congress. The only way he's going to overturn this is to go directly to Congress. However, we do know that the Supreme Court is in his pocket, and if he appeals it up to the Supreme Court, it is entirely possible that they may overturn that. So it's possible that all of us could lose our citizenship in this presidential term. And if you think that doesn't limit your right to an education, that doesn't limit your right to free speech, that doesn't limit your right to get a pension, that's going to make us all foreigners. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. That's what I got to say.
Very well said. But look, the more things that divide, the more things that bring us together. At least with the new gender definition, we're all females.
Yeah. That's, they
Right.
didn't read the Constitution. They didn't read a biology book. Some of these executive orders are so fucking stupid.
Okay. Again.
Every person must be defined as the gender they are at conception.
At conception.
Well, unfortunately, at conception, we are all female.
We're all female.
Sexual differentiation does not happen until the 7th or 8th week of pregnancy. So guess what? We're all girls.
And guess
And
what,
nobody-
everyone?
Equal Rights Amendment passed.
Do people understand too, like, the ovaries are the testicles?
Yes.
Like, do they not understand
No,
reproductive
the
systems?
Basic biology eludes them.
And
You
what's
know,
the
and they
hormone
don't
stuff? I mean,
understand that
they
you can-
change position, they move, and they do
Right.
things.
Right. They don't understand that you can freeze an embryo, but you can't freeze a child. Therefore, the embryo is not viable, But hey.
But all we know for the next 4 years is that no pussy is safe. We're all going to be grabbed.
I still say,
It's all going to happen.
we'll let you grab it if you give us health care.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
turns out Christina's mate next door had more than her pussy grabbed through the curtain.
But she wouldn't have to worry about the cost of her operation or the cost of an ambulance if we had health care.
True. See, that would be frightening. Imagine if you didn't, like, this is the thing. You're sick and you don't have enough money. You just got to die, right? Like, what are you going to
die
do?
all the time. This country has more people paying for health care with GoFundMe's.
Yeah.
The richest nation in the world, more people fund their health care with GoFundMe's. You get it. I give to charity all the time, so I get at least 2 a week. Can you help so-and-so with their, And on TikTok, can you watch my video for 2 minutes and engage with me so that I can pay my rent while I go through chemo? All that shit is out there. disgusting. I will give to it. I will watch their video. I'm happy to send money to a GoFundMe. But the fact that in the richest country in the world, we have thousands of Americans who are begging for their lives to have money to pay for healthcare. That is fucking sin. Talk to me later, you stupid Christians in name only.
While we have you by the short and curlies and people are begging for money, we have moved our audio hosting over to Spreaker, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can't find the audio version of the show at the moment, it's because we're in a transition period while the government allows transition. While the government allows transition
find
periods.
The show and couldn't find it at Blog Talk. They wouldn't be listening to us now to get it.
Well, no.
Oh,
this
Steve,
comes out.
you've updated it. You've got rid of the Blog Talk.
It looks good.
Oh,
I've updated a lot of things. So while we are in this transitionary period, guys, the only place that you can find the new episodes of the audio is at Spreaker. All of the other ones that are listed there, like Spotify, Apple Music, all that iHeartRadio, will all come in time, but the new episodes are only available on Spreaker. And the reason that we have moved to Spreaker, we have 1,289 episodes of back catalog audio. They're ready for you to listen to. And if you listen to it now, especially on Spreaker at the moment, we can start to generate a little bit of money for us that makes the podcast be able to keep going. I know that audio is not necessarily our focus, but it would be a big help if you could go over to Spreaker. If
go
you
back
use
and watch the old ones or listen to the old ones where like it was just audio. So Michelle Visage co-hosted one of our shows.
We are way back. We are way back to 2011. So there are 1,289 episodes currently live. There'll be 1,290 when I put this one up. So head to Spreaker. Otherwise, we can be found on the Faceplace, on the YouTube, and all the things while they're existing. TikTok is still there. Jess still posting to TikTok. So keep following us. We will keep going. As I said to some of the panelists the other night, the good thing about a Trump presidency is that we always get people that want to yell on our page. So continue to yell, continue to engage, because
I'll be there to correct your grammar.
It's all there. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. We love it. Any bit of engagement is good engagement. So thank you for joining us today. Luke, Christina, Vera, I've been Steve. This has been UCR Live. Until next week, I guess guard your pussies because it's going to be a long 4 years. All right. Why? End the stream.
Why?
Let's look at the new outro.